but really taking in and understand this concept of anybody can be destined for greatness. You don't even necessarily just have to have these characteristics that I name or these traits that I named. You just have to make a decision that this is what you want and then implement certain things into your life just like anything else. The way that I like to look at it, when somebody wants something to occur in their life or when they want something to change, once they decide and make their mind up and they actually put in the effort to get the result that they want, then they become a part of this. They become a part of this changed culture. And just like that, you can do it too. So if you're somebody that's watching this video and you don't necessarily have these traits, you can implement them today. You can start working on yourself. You can gain the knowledge. You can gain the wisdom that you need to be great. And that's really one of the easiest ways to tell if you're somebody that's destined for greatness, because whenever you accomplish something in your life, you will not get a sense of satisfaction, or you will not necessarily feel accomplished even after overcoming certain challenges. And this is so because your mind is so set forth on what's to come and where you should be that it's extremely hard for you to live in the moment and value what you have going on right now. This is really like a burden and a curse, because somebody like myself, I've experienced this firsthand. And one thing that I've learned from it is that sometimes you don't allow yourself to live in the moment. You don't allow yourself to be present enough to really just enjoy what's going on right now. Because that experience that you may go through before leveling up, you may only experience that one time unless you backtrack or you go through it again. But majority of us, when we level up, we continue to level up. And another thing that stood out to me about people that are destined for greatness is they don't really allow themselves any form of complacency in their everyday lives. Their mind is constantly moving. When you're somebody that's very ambitious or set high goals and dream big, you don't have the time to just be stuck in shallow areas, meaning focusing on surface level things that are really just not going to provide you any value. Your mind is so set forth on where you want to be and the things that you want to accomplish that it's just very hard for you to feel comfortable in anything that you may have going on in your life, because you know that you have dreams and you know that you have goals that you're trying to reach. And I feel like more than anything, we just have to learn this form of balance so that we can give ourselves credit for the things that we do accomplish at this very moment. But that's just what comes with this version of really just being someone who's destined for greatness. You can never really just be stuck in one place for too long, or really just take something in or celebrate for too long, because your mind is just constantly racing. It's on to the next thing. You really got to keep going and keep pushing forward and build to get the lifestyle that you want. And the way that I like to look at it, if you're somebody that's not necessarily where you want to be, this isn't a bad mindset to have. I know tomorrow isn't promised, but just this version of always thinking about the bigger picture, just this version of always focusing on what's to come, put you in a growth mindset where you're just not allowing yourself to get too comfortable. Comfort is something that kills dreams, and I've seen this happen so many times, whether it's in relationships, friendships, just putting yourself in a position where you feel okay, where you feel content, and now you don't have the ambition and everything else just starts to slack and you're not focusing on that drive anymore. So if I had to make a decision whether or not I had to be somebody like that or someone who constantly pushed forward and didn't necessarily give myself credit for the small accomplishments because I was focusing on the bigger picture, I would much rather be someone like that, somebody who just continued to have this drive and this constant pursuit for things that I want to accomplish. But more importantly, I think it's more about balance than anything else. Another way to really tell if you're destined for greatness is if you inspire those around you. If you can have intellectual conversations or conversations based on really anything in life, and you know that people tend to flock towards what you believe or the things that are coming out of your mouth, this is because you inspire people. This is because people trust your judgment and your word and what you have to say. Therefore, they're going to move accordingly. Just think about it like when we used to be in school. If your teacher tells you one way to do something versus your friend telling you one way to do something, who are you going to listen to? Are you going to listen to the person with the years of experience and the judgment that you trust? Or are you going to listen to somebody that's in the same position as you, somebody who's a student and learning? Anybody in that position will listen to the teacher, and the same applies to life. If you know that somebody has the proper judgment, or they have the experience, or if they have the wisdom, it's going to be way easier for you to kind of follow their form of authority, or kind of just allow them to lead you in a sense. And that's one thing that I personally noticed about my life, is because when I speak to those around me, they don't necessarily question the things that I have to say. If it's something that I genuinely believe in, a lot of those around me really just trust my judgment based on the past decisions that I've made and where I'm at today. just like anybody else. And I think this one is very important because somebody who's a natural problem solver is solution oriented. They understand that conflicts are going to arise, but the form of conflicts that they are faced with ultimately just get resolved because they are thinking about the bigger picture. They're not necessarily acting out of emotion. They're not somebody who's emotion driven or anything like that. It's just they know that something occurred where they need to get to the bottom of it and a solution is just going to come. It's really just that simple. So if you find yourself in a position where you can easily adapt to new environments or you can easily make adjustments and get to the bottom of certain things, then this is a clear sign that you're destined for greatness, because only great people really have this trait. Only great people can put themselves in a position or a new environment and find solutions to things that they really haven't experienced yet. Just think about how hard that is to be placed in a position that you've never been in and still adjust and adapt and thrive, though. That's the key part, you being able to thrive in those unfamiliar environments or situations, still being solution oriented. Not only does this affect your everyday life, but this affects your relationships. You just being able to, you know, have conflict resolution and being able to get to the deep rooted problems, because we all know that women are emotion based. So with that being said, you have to be somebody that's super emotionally intelligent and solution oriented in order to be able to have really a healthy relationship, or really just any friendship in general that you may be putting yourself in. One thing that I've learned based on the people that I've met that are very successful is they don't allow their ego to get in the way of their success. And by that, I'll simply mean that they'll put their pride aside. This person could have millions of dollars. This person could be very successful, but they will put their pride aside for the betterment of their lives and those lives around them. They allow themselves to take a step back, to remove themselves out of that position where they may be egotistical or may feel like they're the top dog, to really just listen, to really just take in information and just be a student. I feel like this is a very, very important one, because we don't understand how important it is to always just put yourself in a position to just learn and take in information. You're always willing to learn. You're always willing to remove yourself out of certain environments to put yourself in a better position where you may have to play that student role and where you may have to allow other people to teach you. This is one thing that I feel like a lot of people lack, because as adults, naturally, when we get older and you raise a family and when everyone is dependent and relying on you, you're the top dog. You're the one that everyone goes to for answers. And when you're living this type of lifestyle, it can be kind of hard for you to remove yourself and allow yourself to be put in that position where you're learning again or where you're being a student. And a lot of people just do not have this ability. But somebody who's destined for greatness understands that there are certain roles that you have to play at certain periods during your lifetime. You could be 45 years old, you could be 90 years old, but at some point you're going to have to be a student again. You're going to run into somebody that is more wise than you. You're going to run into somebody with more wisdom and more understanding of life, and you have to take things in. You cannot be so prideful or egotistical to the point where you don't allow yourself to take in that knowledge that that person is sharing. So you being able to be a student, you being able to put your pride aside and learn and hear people out is really one of the major ways to tell if you're destined for greatness. Because I feel like it doesn't matter how great you are or how far you make it in life, just that ability to be able to learn, just that ability to put yourself in that position where you're taking things in will make the biggest difference in how great you end up or how far you make it in life. But really taking in and understand this concept of anybody can be destined for greatness. You don't even necessarily just have to have these characteristics that I name or these traits that I named. You just have to make a decision that this is what you want and then implement certain things into your life just like anything else. The way that I like to look at it, when somebody wants something to occur in their life or when they want something to change, once they decide and make their mind up and they actually put in an effort to get the result that they want, then they become a part of this. They become a part of this changed culture. And just like that, you can do it too. So if you're somebody that's watching this video and you don't necessarily have these traits, you can implement them today. You can start working on yourself. You can gain the knowledge. You can gain the wisdom that you need to be great. And that's really just the beauty in life. It's just your ability to change, your ability to go out and make those adjustments and turn your life around, even if it's going in a completely different direction. And don't ever forget that. But if you made it to the end of the video, I just want to say thank you so much. It's your boy Blue Jay Tay. Drop a like, comment, and subscribe, and I'll see y'all on the next one. Peace.